Hello, and welcome to The Nod, a mindful motorcycle podcast. Sponsored as ever by our great friends at Devitt Insurance. Do check out the links in our bios for that. And our lovely friends at Quadlock. We are, big news, boys and girls. Look who's back.
I am back.
Where have you been?
Well,
Don't answer that. I don't think we need the details.
I've been all over the place.
I'm so pleased you're back. It's a shame it took the Goodwood Festival of Speed to get you interested enough to actually turn up.
But, I do love you and Charlie, but you know what I mean? You don't pay me enough money.
No, well, that's fair.
So I have to go earn money other places.
Well, if you hadn't noticed, we've got a slightly different setup this episode. This is going to be a special one, maybe two episodes. We'll see who comes through the door. But we're here on the Thursday of Goodwood Festival of Speed, day one. But anyway, here we are. We're at the Festival of Speed. We're podcasting. We're in a studio. And we've got our first guest. I mean, God, it's been glorious weather today. I am so hot.
Yeah, it's a magic event, and it's been a roaster of a day.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm sweating my balls off, but you can't actually say that, can you?
I can't sweat my balls off.
He doesn't
Been
have
a
any
lot
balls.
of testicle chat today.
What? Hold on a second.
Yeah, no, it's true.
None.
I had testicular cancer twice in my 20s.
Oh, well, congrats to surviving
thanks.
that.
Yeah, right.
Worth not having balls, probably.
My greatest achievement. We've dived straight into this, but I'm pretty hot as well, just hot and flustered because we've got, Dakar royalty in the house.
Ah, come on, mate.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna bring you with me everywhere. The
Well,
hype.
hey, one of the greatest living British motorcyclists of our time.
Very kind of you, fella. Thank
and
you.
all of the other accolades we can throw at you. But genuinely, we've wanted to catch up with you for a long time. As Sam Sunderland, two-time Dakar winner,
Thanks, pal. Very
Just-
kind.
legend. And this is especially good because Charlie didn't get to be here today. So we can take the piss out of the fact that he loves to talk about the fact he's done the Dakar.
Yeah.
He doesn't like
done
to
it,
talk
done
about
it to different,
yeah.
like
Hey,
you've done the Dakar.
But no.
getting to the start line. He will
be-
always tell you.
To be fair, I can give credit where credit's due. Those boys earn their Dakar as well. Like, it's a different race at the front and the middle and the back, and often the guys in the towards the rear, not to say Charlie was, but they often get overtaken by cars.
Yeah.
And you can't imagine how the track looks when you've had like 4 or 5 cars go smashing through, tearing all the rocks up, dust clouds for minutes on end. And yeah, they're in a scrap. Like when I won in 17, I had this. I went to South Africa for a media event, and one guy, Joey Evans, he actually got paralyzed once upon a time. Came back, it was a cool story. Then raced Dakar, and he come up to me. One of the first things he said was, "Dude, my Dakar overall finish time was double what yours was."
Whoa,
So
wow.
he did 2 Dakars for my one. I was just like, nothing but respect, mate,
Wow.
because
No.
I couldn't have done 2 of them.
Well, I've not done one. And they say just getting to the start line is you're a winner.
Yeah, it's a lot of graft. It's really brutal, and it's one of them things that, like, a bit like surfing. You don't really know how scary it is until you're in it. Like when I used to watch surfing as a kid, I was like, it's just water. What can it be? And
Yeah.
you get out in some big waves and you just don't know which way is up and can't breathe. And Dakar's somewhat similar, where you get there and you're just like, oh wow, this is wild. And that when it goes, it's like once you roll your wheels across the line the first day, you need to be perfect.
Yeah.
12 days and manage everything. Like there's no restarts. You can't just skip a day and crack on again. It's like the wheels are rolling now and the circus is on its way for 12 days, no matter what.
What was it that, motivated you to even consider doing races? Was it a gradual build up and just became the logical next step?
Yeah, it was a bit like that, to be honest. Like, honestly, my passion as a kid was like racing motocross, and for some extent it still is. Had a bad accident when I was 16, broke both my legs a year off the bike, and didn't help the motocross career there, but that was like my first passion. And I actually became a lift engineer. I had a 4-year lift engineer apprenticeship, and had my little van. And
Uplift or
No,
basically getting
elevators.
people out of stuck lifts.
yeah, elevators. Yeah, Meridian Lifts in the south there. Shout out. They were a sponsor early on in the career there. So. No, great people, and appreciated the opportunities with them. And then I actually went on holiday to Dubai. My auntie and uncle were living there, and my 2 little cousins rode motocross. So I brought my kit with me. started riding with them one day, and there was the KTM manager of Middle East was at the track that day, and he's like, "Oh, you ride super well. Perhaps you can come and sell bikes here in the shop and race for our team." And I was like, "That sounds better than the lift engineer apprenticeship." So off I went, and I was a terrible salesman. I think I sold like one bike in the 3 months I was there, and they quickly recognized that the riding was going well. So I started doing desert tours, so like taking people on little adventure tours in the desert.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with that freedom of like that go where you want. You know, like here in the UK, it's cool to ride, but it's normally on a track. It's defined. You know, you can't start your bike up before this time, or if you do it at the house, the neighbors calling the police, and like that.
I mean, my
freedom-
neighbour is a policeman. I mean, it's awkward.
yeah. Yeah, so like that freedom was just so cool of like go where you want, and just kind of fell in love with that really.
Yeah. And that kind of, you were in that environment then, the sand,
Yeah,
the
just
adventure. It was,
yeah, like
was
ended up
Dakar something you were conscious of growing up?
nothing. No, I remember so riding a lot in the desert doing the tours and stuff, and then the first round of the World Rally Championship was Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, and the team manager from KTM was like, "Hey, do you wanna race?" I was like, you know, it felt like a bit. I was a motocross guy then, and to see the adventure guys, it wasn't quite cool kids enough for me at that point.
Yeah.
And I remember now looking back, I feel so stupid, but I was introduced to Stefan Petterhansel, and I shook his hand like the plumber, like no idea who he was. It's like absolute legend.
Yeah. Was he a 7, 8-time Dakar winner on bikes, and then
Yeah, I think
the
total
same
was
again in
like
cars?
15, 16 wins. I'm
Yeah.
probably discrediting him for that.
It's
but
not really.
savage.
He doesn't leave much for anyone else, does he?
No, he's an animal, and even now he rides well. So that was how the rally side started. I raced that race and ended up doing pretty well. I won a couple of stages against Mark Comer and the boys. One of them was, I think, had like 19-minute lead, and I remember they all protested me because they said like cut the route because I was just some young dumb kid from the desert there, and they ended up having to download all my GPS data to check that I did all the right route. And I was like, oh, I think I went the right way. And yeah, so it was.
Yeah. And that was all new, the navigation side.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in, a lot to learn. You know, I honestly that Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, I had no idea like about navigation, and luckily it was open GPS arrow, so I was just flat out following the arrow through the desert. And I remember getting to like day 3 of the race, and guys spending hours marking it with a marker pen, and I did it the first day just to like try. And I was finishing the stage, and my road book was still on like kilometer 10 because I just didn't scroll through it. I was just following this arrow. So like day 3 of the race, I'm like, I'm not wasting time painting that thing. I don't look at it anyway. And then anyway, I had like all these calls from like Factory Honda and some other teams straight after that race. And soon enough, I was there in Sardinia in Italy. No GPS, only paper road book. And I was this new hot shot, supposedly, lost on the liaison, asking Italian ladies if they'd seen any motorbikes. Complete idiot. Like, oh, what have I done?
Wow.
That would definitely be me if I did the Dakar. I'd be in a pub going, I'm lost.
There's not many in Saudi Arabia. But if you found one, you did
Just
well.
a lot of sand. It's a big
Yeah.
place to get lost in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously, you know, I mean, talent was there from the get-go, the speed and the ability, and then it's just increasing that knowledge and the skill set on the navigation and that sort of things, I guess.
Yeah, like I'm skipping out a lot. Like I put in a heap of graft. Like when I realized I couldn't navigate, I started making my own road books, going out and pre-running them in a 4x4, and then pushing, you know, trying to swap road books with friends so that I didn't know the way. And I put in a heap of graft because I realized that if I didn't, it wasn't going to be much of a future. And yeah, well, you know, even early on in my motocross career, I was kind of like the kid that would either win or he's going home in the ambulance. And for a long time, I tried to like fight that, and I'm like, no, I'm an experienced, sensible racer. But
Yeah.
after a while, I was like, you know what? Yeah, that is
Been
what
it
I
or
am.
been it.
And
Yeah.
I'd rather it like that than, you know, always the 5th place guy. And the 5th place guy is fine, but like for me, it was like I'm going to try and win, and occasionally it didn't work out so well, and I was going home in the helicopter. So
Yeah. I mean,
that's the way it went.
that's kind of the brutal reality of any bike riding is
Yeah.
inherently dangerous.
I mean, now
But-
Dakar, like the front of the race is so fast, and like obviously it's all unknown terrain. You're pushing like hell. Like you're really on the limit all day. You don't think about saving the bike.
I mean, to the point where they've limited the speed of the bikes.
Yeah,
now, haven't they?
yeah. I don't know what is better at crashing at 160 or 175. It's just a bad day, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Perhaps better a bit faster. It'll be over a bit quicker. No, it's a bit morbid. Sorry.
So what like when it all goes wrong out there, when does it go wrong? Like, oh, I guess it can go wrong any moment, but like what's the worst scenario? Like in a cloud of shit you can't see out of and you don't know what's gonna come and then you hit something, or
Yeah.
is
So
it, like, is that the worst scenario, or is it like
oh, dude, I'm having like flashbacks now. Talking about
Wow, we
like,
brought full
is it-
PTSD into
these
the room.
ones?
Yeah.
I mean, I had some pretty scary ones where, like you said, I've had it before, pushing behind a guy. It was in Portugal, and I'm like just out the dust, so like on the limit of where the dust is. I'm doing 160, and a farmer's truck just come out of the dust towards me, and I just went, I missed it, like through no skill of my own, just that I wasn't face to face with it, and they kind of go, well, that was death, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And
That's an immediate deceleration.
Yeah,
of
that
events, isn't it?
there's
It's just not what
really
you want.
questions asked at that point. And then, I mean, I had some where, dude, I had one crash in Saudi Arabia, broke 5 vertebrae in my back, and it was a nightmare because they like got me in the helicopter, and you know when you break your back, you're on the backboard and you're like proper fixed and you can't move, and I remember they'd give me ketamine, and I was in this fucking void, and I was terrified, and I was like shouting, "We're gonna miss the start of the race! Get me back to the start!" Like just tripping out, and I finally like came out of this scary void place wherever it was, and all I can move is my arm, and I'm like plugged into the vein, and we're flying at this point, and he's got all the headphones on, and you know you've been in a helicopter, super noisy, so I like reach up to the guys, be like, "Hey, don't give me any more of that stuff, dude," because that was terrifying. And the French doctors looked down at me. He's in pain, and I just see him go, shove,
Oh no.
back to the void, dude. That was me. I was
Shit.
back in the hole there. So, yeah. And then another crash story. We'll get them all out the way early, shall we? I was racing in Greece in Hellas Rally, and we were on this like big fire road around these windmills, like the electricity ones. And I come up this blind rise, and basically it was always like blind rise, and I'm doing like 100, 120, and there was nothing marked in the road book, so it was clearly their fault, not mine. It's definitely my fault. And basically the road went sharp left, and then like 100 meters round, sharp right, and continued. But my view was straight. So by the time I saw that, I like anchored up, skidding, and obviously it went left because there was the mountain, and I skidded straight off the edge of this more or less cliff. I went like 25, 30 meters down, and I remember this feeling. This was early on in my career. There was no land in that one. I saw that early on in the event, and I remember just skidding, and as I went off the edge, it was just like this open space, and I've gone, oh, like this is it then.
Silence.
Like this must be me.
This is it.
And I remembered like stupidly going like, brum, like rev the bike, like ready for an impact.
I
And
mean, I've got this beautiful Hollywood-esque
it was
picture.
so terrifying. And there was these huge rocks like all scattered across the mountain. And I'm not a religious man, but somebody was watching over me that day. I missed every one of them, and I just like landed in a ravine in the bottom, and I punctured my lungs, broke 4 ribs, dislocated my shoulder, broke my thumb. And anyway, it was quite like an amateur race, so like there wasn't the best like recovery sort of crew.
Yeah.
And I was down in this ravine, and I'm like proper suffering, like I couldn't hardly get much air in. And I hear the bike. I was like, oh, good, because I couldn't take my GPS out to push the recovery button because I was whacked, like concussed.
Yeah.
And I hear a bike coming. I'm like, oh, perfect, like someone's gonna come save me, because they didn't see me.
Can't see you.
They just went round, blah, 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 and I'm like, oh no. And then the next one we come, blah, blah, like about 10 bikes have come by, and I'm like trying to wave with my good hand. Anyway, I was down there like 20, 30 minutes, and then I just hear some boy, Sam. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm not very good. And then I was hoofed in the back of a 4x4 and driven
Yeah.
down the mountain and
Jeez.
yeah,
I mean, it's
one lung.
it's intense stuff, isn't it?
Had to get ferry back because you can't fly with a punctured lung. So
Oh God.
little adventure across Europe on trains and ferries. But anyway, those are crash stories out the way. I did some winning other than that.
Yeah,
Wasn't
did all right. It
Wasn't
wasn't
just
just-
crashes.
yeah.
Dude.
No, that's fair enough. I'm really always interested in kind of the mental side of any riding for the benefit. Yeah, we ride bikes.
The mental side is in
Okay,
mental health side, not
Look-
as mental. You're a mentalist for riding.
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you? But no, so, I mean, something like the racing you did. I mean, what people don't see of the Dakar, you watch it on the TV, it looks unbelievable, these amazing places. You see these 180k legs where you're flat out timed, but you're doing 700, 800Ks a day, every day for 12 days, off-road racing, full chat, freezing cold in the morning in the dark because the bikes go early. Like, it's hardcore. It's intense, and psychologically,
Yeah.
it must feel quite overwhelming at times.
So like when everything's going along nicely, for sure, who wouldn't be mentally tough? You know, oh look, it's
Yeah.
the easiest place to look mentally tough when you're winning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But when things start to go bad, it spirals quick because you've got a lot of pressure, especially if you're in a factory team. You've invested a lot of time, effort, money, resources into that one race. It's one start a year. So as I said before, it's like once you wheel across the line the first day, it's like you're on until the end. And yeah, I mean, I had plenty of setbacks and crashes, broken femur. I had to get a surgery there in Morocco, lost 2 centimeters of my leg, and just terrible place to get femur surgery.
so do you walk around in circles?
I'm like Forrest Gump. Now I got a little boost me up in my shoes, so I swim in circles. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like thinking of a point where I can sort of go back to that, like Dakar 22 I won at that race, but day 4 I had a huge crash, and early on in the stage I clipped a rock, lost my rear brake because I bent the discs. It was just spacing the pads out, and I was a bit of a bugger for doing it. Like I'd often end up with no rear brakes. I'm like cruising along, racing still, and then searching for a waypoint in the middle of this like plateau, stony, and I like keep looking at the GPS like, fuck, why is the arrow not open? Like, where's this waypoint? Because they're like invisible, so it only picks it up when you're in radius of 800 meters. So I'm like keep trying to look down, and I like hit a rock, boom, straight out the front door, knocked myself out, bent the handlebars, ripped the front brake off as well. And I'm like suffering. I'd like really hurt my neck. Something in my neck wasn't good. I like picked the bike up and I'm like, shit, I still need to find this waypoint. So like rolling around this plateau, like dazed as hell. And I was leading the race at that point, day 4 there, and got the waypoint, started like riding, and those next 50 kilometers, I promise you, are some of the darkest. Yeah, no brakes, and I was concussed, so I'm like seeing double everything. They were the most character building days I've lived, I think. Like just this angel devil in my head, like, stop, you know, this is dangerous. You're already out the race. You've hurt something in your neck. You got no brakes. You're going to crash again. Like, what you doing, you idiot? You already lost a heap of time. Like, just stop. You got kids at home. And then like finding these little answers to it to sort of like battle on the light side of like, no, fuck, you went
as far.
You went training in the rain when it was snowing, when you didn't feel like it, when you wanted to go party instead. Like, you didn't eat the bad food. You went testing. You tested later than everyone. Like, all those things that you do in the build up, you kind of can rely on when things get tough. And all right, it's sport and it's a race. It's just a race, Dakar. But like, I feel like that sort of philosophy fits to a lot of things in life. Like, for me at least, like, if you just sit home and do nothing, what can you expect? You know, like what you get out what you put in. So like, go run, try and eat good for a few days, go walk if you can't run, go cycle, go swim, do something. But like, if you're just sort of, you know, like those moments where because life will get hard, like there's no doubt about it. Either personally, your job, a change in your job, someone gets a promotion you thought you deserved, or family member gets sick. Like, those times are coming. We don't know when they're coming, but like, they're coming, right? For everyone, no matter if you're a Dakar winner or if you're Formula One driver. Like everyone has those things to deal with. So I feel like you need to be ready, even if you don't know what you're getting ready for. Like the process of getting ready in some way, I feel like helps a lot when those times come, because you're like, you feel,
You've
I
got
don't
the
know.
tools.
Yeah, they're
It's
like,
like
you
don't go
rely
in-
on them.
You don't go and do the Dakar without knowing how to ride a motorbike. You've got
No.
the time in, but
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Yeah.
a whole package.
Yeah.
You've got to understand
Yeah. And
your body, your mind, how it reacts, how it behaves under stress.
exactly. Yeah.
That's the same as a motorbike, how it behaves on different terrains with
Yeah.
different throttle control. It's
Yeah.
all linked and becomes one. I thought you were going to say the angel was like, yeah, but riding motorbikes is fun.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was
But it wasn't fun
forget
at that
all of
point,
that
though.
stuff. All
Yeah.
that stuff,
Just,
really. And those next 2 days after as well, I was like a shell of myself,
Yeah.
just in so much pain. And at that point, it would have been easy to quit, right? I still had 8 days racing to go. I'm like, I can't even do. I had another 150k of that stage,
Yeah.
but the 50 kilometers after were the worst, because then afterwards I kind of like settled down. The concussion symptoms got a bit better, they say. But I was like, how on earth am I going to race 8 days more fighting to win this thing when I'm in this state? But yeah, it turned out that it was worthwhile hanging around.
Become the motivation. Like I've got through that. I can push through.
Yeah,
next
like
8
even
days.
in that moment, yeah, like we had the rest day, luckily. So it happened day 4. I think day 6 we had rest day, and I stayed in a dark room all day, no phones, no screens, just like trying to recover. And then after that rest day, I felt like, right, let's get stuck into this. Now I've like recovered a bit, and yeah, all those little things that happen along the way like add so much to the stress of it, because you've got this team of like 50 people there, like waiting. Gonna win, right? You're like, I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Camera
everybody's
best.
invested in it, aren't they?
No
Yeah.
pressure.
Everyone
No
plays their
pressure.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's just such an extreme thing to take on so many levels. But that's why it's the ultimate test, I guess, because it pushes everybody and everything to its limits. And
Yeah.
you really find out who you are.
Yeah, that's it. You get a lot of moments like questioning who you are, and like going back to like the mental health thing. It's huge, because it's like so much as a racer. Like, of course, this on Instagram nowadays, it's like it's everyone's highlight reel, right? You don't show the days when you sat there crying because you feel like a failure, or you crashed, or you're injured, or you're busy picking stitches out at home because you've had another surgery, or like, it affects everybody, no matter who you are. Like everybody's problems are real to them. That's something that
And valid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's so many people like sit at home or wherever they are, and they think like they're the only one in that situation.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I do it. I'm sure everyone does it, but you have to kind of like go, you know what? Everybody's gone through this. This is humans. We're all designed the same way.
Yeah.
And we all go through the same things. We all have these stupid thoughts about ourselves and these insecurities, and like you said, like if I sit at home and like I'll be busy as shit, and I'll go home and I'm like, it's really nice to like just shut off and do nothing for a couple days.
Yeah.
But like if I'm doing nothing and I sit on that thing just on my phone, I just feel my mental health just like all the walls come caving in. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, I start questioning the whole life. And
Well, you're like
I'm a
looking at
failure.
someone else's highlight reel and comparing it to your
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
well, why is my life not?
Well, I want to be on
cocktails
a
on the
beach right now
beach.
instead
Yeah.
of just sat in the bedroom,
yeah.
just like doing nothing. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's just like this constant.
We're all
That thing is
guilty of it,
that thing is the worst thing for mental health,
for sure.
like bar none. I think right now in the world,
But that's why, like, go out for a run, go out for
Yeah.
a cycle, and it gives you a couple of hours away from it, because you can't.
Yeah.
Meanwhile you're doing something active. I think it's huge everywhere, and I feel like it's good to speak about it, because it's one of them things that, like, as you say, you feel like you're alone, but to know other people experience the same things, no matter their
Who they are,
status or who they are, it's like, like, it isn't that it's all green, roses and sunshine on that side of the fence, and I'm on the right. It's like, no, we're all on the same shit, like everyone's dealing with their own thing.
That's it. I mean, you may be one of the best Dakar riders, and motorbike riders in the world, but you still crash, you still
Yeah.
get hurt,
Yeah.
and you still have to come back.
And you still have days where you feel like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I'm
Or you
like
got
not that
hurt
good.
again, or question yourself, or it's just like
What
you
are
said,
the-
we're all the same, really.
Yeah, and still,
One of
like
the-
real life is still real life for everybody as well. You know what I mean? You
Sure.
still got bills to pay. You still
Yeah.
got kids. You still got a family. You still got a, you've still got.
And almost more so because you're selfishly going out, pursuing this, and the level of commitment to be world class at anything
Yeah, everything
is
gets-
always very selfish.
Yeah,
The sacrifices have to
I
be
prefer
made.
focus when I'm speaking to my girlfriend. So
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm just focused
very
on our
focused,
future
but
for all of us. But it is a selfish thing. I mean,
It is,
But
yeah.
everyone that's not just professional sport. I went through chemo, and the
Yeah.
only way I could get through chemo, because it was hell,
yeah,
was to just be totally selfish on myself,
Yeah.
because I was in this world where I was a mess and I had to get through it.
yeah,
And everything else around me, I didn't have the time, the mental capacity,
Yeah, you don't have
emotional
space.
capacity to deal with it.
yeah,
And what hurt me the most was when I came out of that, I didn't stop that process.
yeah,
So that's always that, being able to take that moment to reflect. Like, I had counselling. They said I used to ride my push bike in London. I raced everyone
yeah.
because I was still fighting chemo, still fighting cancer.
Right.
And it's a question I always want to ask Lance Armstrong, because this counsellor said to me, have you ever congratulated yourself? Have you ever stopped? Because you've won.
Yeah, yeah,
You're here. You won.
Yeah.
You beat it. I was like, no,
yeah.
I would-
Like give yourself a pat on the back.
yeah. You
Yeah.
don't have to fight. And I was fighting everything I came across. I was
Yeah.
racing everyone to win, to beat, to be better, to get through it, to
But that's
prove
cool,
in
though.
my own
Like,
head that I was all right when I wasn't.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
it's the same. Yeah, that's cancer, racing.
yeah. Going back to the focus or selfish, like I think it's really important to be your best mate with the little man in your head before you go to bed. You know, that little man in your head before you go to sleep at night, that you need to be best mates with him. You know, the words that you're talking to yourself, or the things you're thinking about, or the questions you're having, you need to have that little wall around, and like that little guy that's with you inside that. Maybe I'm going to sound like a psychopath here, but like, you know, the words that you have when you're trying to get to sleep and you start questioning things and this topic comes up, it's like that person, that's you. You know, those questions,
Yeah.
they need answering and they need some clarity. And like, I always kind of had that vibe of like, as long as I'm friends with the guy that's, you know, in my head before I go to sleep at night, then we'll be ready for tomorrow.
I've never heard it expressed like that
Yeah.
before. It's fascinating.
Yeah, like, you know, like certainly like it's easy for me to talk about racing, but like stressing about the stage tomorrow, like, I don't know, let's say you're leading Dakar. We've had the map briefing. This is a real thing that happened. I had a 20-minute lead going into day 10, and the map man who like plots out the route the night before and tells you more or less what's going to be the crack. Like, they don't do it anymore because they changed the rules, but he was basically like, tomorrow's a clusterfuck. Like, you may or may not lose your 20-minute lead. And I'm like, and I'm trying to go to bed after that, and I'm like, my head's just and yeah, I think you need to find a way to be at peace with that man in your head and
Answer the questions.
yeah, and often it is something that you have to do physically or during the day when you're awake, like to behave on what you agreed, like with the man in your head, let's say. But that was something that was important for me, and then from a sports psychologist that had this, there's actually a graph that he showed me, and it's basically like excitement and performance. So it's like, there's like a sweet spot. So if performance is on this part of the graph and excitement is on this part, I might be drawing it wrong, lad, but I'm trying my best here.
This is going to work so good on the audio only.
Yeah.
The X and the Y axis.
You might find a picture of it.
We'll do a diagram and stick it up. Yeah.
It's a well-known thing, actually. I didn't know at the time, but basically, if you're too excited, your performance drops off, and if you're not excited enough, your performance drops off. So there's like this sort of sweet spot where, and I'd always picture the graph, because like as days go on in the Dakar, like you'll get tired, or maybe you had a shitty day the day before, or maybe X, Y, or Z, or you're dehydrated. It's like before the start, I'd always try and picture where I am on the graph. Like, right, how do I feel? Like for example, before a prologue's like qualifying, and it's normally like a 1 kilometer, almost a motocross track, a lot of spectators, and it's like all on, and it's like pressure. So often before them, I'd find myself at the start so full of adrenaline, and I'm shaking, and I'm like, wow, I'm peaking on the graph here. So for example, I'd go off on my own, take some deep breaths, like try and chill out, like calm it down a bit, and then
Is breath work a big
yeah,
part
for
of
me
what
it
you do?
helps a lot. Yeah, and weirdly, like just looking in the sky, it's super bizarre, but like I find if I look in the sky, I don't think about
Emptiness
much
just seems
else.
like
Right.
It's super bizarre stuff
No,
I'm
it's
talking about.
like, yeah.
And then like on the flip side, it can be day 8 or 9 of Dakar. You know, loads of nights, no sleep. I'd see myself on the graph, and I'm like, fuck, I'm tired here. I'm not firing. So I'll go and do some jumping jacks, run around a bit. I'll try and juggle some rocks. I'm terrible at juggling, but I'll try.
Yeah.
And like just to try and alter
Stimulate
that
yourself.
state, you know,
Yeah.
and that I guess it can work in other things, but that was something I used a lot during racing.
I mean, we talk about this a lot, and it comes in many different forms, but it all starts with that self-awareness about
Yeah.
your mental state, where you are, how you're behaving, the decisions you're making. And then once you start to do that with professional help or not, you can find the tools, the systems that work for you specifically.
Exactly
I always
that.
put it in the context of Usain Bolt and Mo Farah, both world-class Olympic champion athletes, right?
Yeah.
If Mo Farah did Usain Bolt's training, he'd be shit at marathons,
Terrible.
and
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, just because Usain Bolt, his training is proven to make you an Olympic world record holder, doesn't mean that's going to work for me. I'm not built like him. And the mental health is exactly the same. You need to understanding what it looks like, but then being able to put in the tools that work for you specifically to optimize your condition and your performance.
Yeah.
But it all starts with understanding what the machine looks like, right?
Yeah, I found the same, and I feel like it needs to be your choice, because if someone tells you to go or like pushes you to go and see one, you've got your back up against it from the get-go.
Yeah.
And often when you first start, it's a bit like opening Pandora's box, and for that reason, you need someone that knows what they're doing to be like given these tools of like, right, if you feel overwhelmed or you start open Pandora's box and it's and everything's going everywhere in terms of emotions, it's hard to like pick and choose. Whereas if you got, you know, it's like men, isn't it? It's like my dad. It's like unhealthy. I'm like, do this, and he's like so like anti going to the doctor, anti lifestyle change. It's like, I'm like, just please, like,
Kind of, we
You
need
know,
to reframe.
Yeah.
Like, we need to, like, the stigma around counseling is it's huge. And
yeah,
I went to a counselor, you know, in crisis, and I thought, right, I'll go to a counselor, and they'll solve all my problems. They'll
No.
sort me out. And the first thing says, no, you've got to.
they haven't got a magic wand.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm just going to sit here and listen. You need to put the hard work in. And,
Yeah. But the
hours and
tools
hours
help.
and-
The
yeah.
tools help a lot,
they show you, they help you work out the path
for sure.
and understand. But the tools, and then it's about, okay, well, that tool works for me. Guided meditation app works for me, or
Yeah.
for me, riding a motorbike, taking the dog for a walk,
Yeah.
cycling.
Simple things
Works for
quite
me.
often.
Yeah. And just that openness to talk about this, share this stuff, and say, like, counseling is one of the best things I ever did.
Yeah. But
It's
you're not the only
mega.
one, you know.
And
you also
everyone
have
does
to
it.
find the right counselor
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you, because
But-
like there's some,
And
you know,
don't be put off if the
Yeah.
first one you go to doesn't work.
You have to, you know,
Just keep
you have
going.
to know when to kind of like I went a couple of years ago. I was kind of in a space where I was like, I need to get out of this situation, and I signed up for this app, and I was kind of like seeing this therapist, and it's just like, and it was just not work. Like nothing worked. And I was like, I'm just focused on this situation, and like there's no, and it seemed to get worse
Right.
because I was just kept focusing on the problem,
Yeah.
and they didn't seem to help me. And then I was like, okay, this isn't working. But I had to realize that because I was new to therapy,
Yeah.
and I was like, is this what it is? And then I was like, hold on, no, I got to change this. So I changed it up, and then I found one that was like, oh, this works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, okay, thank God, because like I was thinking,
Start to
this
doubt
is
the
all
whole
a myth.
thing.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this
I feel like it should be mandatory at school or something. You know what I mean? Like to already open the door to it. To sort of
But
think
you've got
about it.
kids, right? How old are
Yeah.
your kids?
2 and 5, a little
Okay.
boy and a little girl.
So I think I've got a 4-year-old and 14-year-old, both girls. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazing
but-
chaos.
Yeah, but we have this. We've grown up. We were talking about. We had the CEO of the campaign against living miserably on last week's show with Charlie and I, talking about suicide prevention. And we have this. We've all grown up in these legacy relationships with our fathers off the back of their grandparents were in the war. They grew up in this post-war world where it was hard. No, stoicism was we don't talk about stuff.
Yeah.
We now, as new parents, have this opportunity to be that circuit breaker in how we were brought up and to be able to show vulnerability,
Yeah.
be able to share emotions
Yeah.
and give examples to our children about mental health and about our thoughts we have and making peace with that little man at night. I love that. It's such a beautiful way to say it. But unless we do it, the cycle will continue.
Yeah,
The suicide
it's
rates
true.
are going up, and it's a
Yeah.
massive problem we need to address. But sharing it, talking about it, people that are held up, this whole world of influence and holding these people up to be these heroes. It's like,
Yeah.
they just do cool stuff, right?
Yeah,
What's
that's
really
it.
heroic is
Just
the fact they,
Another bloke that likes riding bikes.
yeah,
That's the reality of it.
talking about your vulnerability. Now that's a superpower,
Yeah.
really, that
Yeah.
that we all have, and we can listen and talk about it. Now, I'm conscious of time. We could bang on about this forever. But staying slightly on the mental health theme about just being on your own on a motorcycle in a helmet for hours upon end. Today you've just announced you're a fucking idiot, by the way.
Thanks.
Before we
Signed
get
up now,
into
it's
this,
too late, so I'm
Um,
committed.
so tell us this new challenge you've just announced with Red Bull and Triumph.
Yeah.
You're like riding for hours and hours on end
Yeah.
isn't enough for days and days. You're going to up the level. What are you doing? Come on.
So we're going to try to beat the world record for circumnavigating the world on a motorbike. And to do that, current record is 19 days, 8 hours and 25 minutes. And it was stood for 20 years. So they put
There's
in
a
a
reason.
proper shift. Yeah.
Charlie's done it in like 7 years, hasn't he?
About 7 years.
Yeah.
Henry Crew did it. Henry Crew did it in like 9 months. So what's the official distance? You have to do the by 2 points
So-
opposite sides of the globe.
Obviously, the world's changed a lot in those 20 years.
Yeah, you
so
can't go all the
it's not the
places
same.
you used to.
Yeah, so basically we're copying the rules and that they followed 20 years ago. We have to do the 2 antipodes, like where you sit today, the opposite side of the world.
Yeah.
We're going to do 18,000 miles. We have to continue in the same direction.
Yeah.
And it has to be on the same bike. So those are the rules and regulations. And
Pretty
then
simple.
yeah, and we've done 2 tests now, and they put in a shift. Let me tell you, like the first test we did was from in Austria. Red Bull have a fitness center, and they were super kind to like run some diagnostics on me basically to see just how tired I get in 1 day simulation, and I was pretty whacked by the end of it. And then we did another one from London down to Florence in Italy, and then back up through France via Bordeaux to Hinckley at the Triumph factory. And it was 2,400 miles in two and a bit days.
It's decent.
Yeah, it's a shift. Like
Yeah.
you leave at 5 a.m.
12-hour day.
Yeah,
And it's
more.
Yeah.
it's not like Dakar because you're not.
There's no adrenaline.
No, you're just.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Joe Rogan podcasts, and I was picking holes in his character. I was like thinking, I don't know, he's a good guy anymore. you know? Like- yeah. No. They did a proper effort, and they've been super kind as well, like super open. They're like records have been made to be beaten, and they've like been really forthcoming in helping out with stuff. Obviously, who do you ask when you want to do such a thing, And
Well,
they've
it's just
been
the
really
visas.
kind. So.
But the visas must be the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Just crossing borders so quickly.
I'm pretty lucky that the guys from Red Bull helping out on that front. I've just tasked with the riding.
You've got a
part.
few connections, right?
Yeah, I've
You
got
have got-
really there.
Yeah.
You've got the easiest job. You just have to ride a motorbike
Yeah.
non-stop
Don't
for
tell them that.
18
please.
days. Well, look,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hey, look, adventures. That's what life's all about, and good
That's
stories. And
That's it.
you're going to see some things. And look,
Yeah,
we
I
wish
mean,
you
like,
luck with
when you turn the news on now, there's so much doom and gloom around, and you kind of like going back to the mental health thing. Not bring it right back there, but I mean, like, when you watch the news, you see all this chaos going on, and hopefully it can inspire people to go for a bike trip with their mates. Like, yeah, you know what? Let's book that trip. Let's get a bike. Like, it looks cool where he's gone, and you know, create stories. Okay, the world record, I want to beat it. Don't get me wrong, but like, the value in it for me is like going and making some cool stories to tell the kids one day. Hopefully we can get a few people fired up to, you know, do the same, because the world is cool, and I think travel is like one of the most valuable things you can, you know, have.
Right back to the start about what motorbikes do for you. It's like the idea. It's just that simple idea that you can climb on a motorbike outside your house and ride it around the world.
Yeah, that's it.
That's everything.
It goes back to when you were a kid and you like first started riding a BMX and you didn't need your mum or someone to drop you off. You're like, I'm going on my own and I'll be back when I'm back. I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
Yeah.
How much of it's off-road and on-road?
Oh, 99.9% on the road. So I'm not going to deal with
Where roads exist across some of those countries.
Yeah.
Well, look, we wish you all the luck. When are you? September?
Yeah,
You're
middle
off.
of September sometime.
So let's get together when you get back and do the debrief.
Yeah, awesome. Look forward to it.
Being a world record breaker.
Yeah,
we'll get a trumpet out.
See how good you and your little friend are.
Yeah,
how good the relationship is.
We might have a bit of dramas on that one. We have a lot of time to
few
talk to each other.
conversations. Yeah. Well, look,
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
congratulations on your career to date. Good luck
Thanks,
with the
mate.
new challenge. It's been a pleasure to sit down and spend some time with you.
Awesome.
We'll let you get off to a nice cold beer because it's been a long day.
Thank you guys
Lovely.
very much.
Thanks so much, Sam. Take care.
Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.